In 2022, more Americans moved to Florida than any other state in the country. 310,000 people packed up their lives in New York, California, Illinois, and drove south, chasing sunshine, low taxes, and a fresh start. 3 years later, that number has collapsed by 93%. Florida just got beaten by Alabama. Tonight, we're breaking down the numbers behind the biggest reversal in American migration, and what it means if you're buying, selling, or holding property in the Sunshine State. Welcome back to American Property Markets. Let's rewind. During the pandemic, Florida became the promised land for American movers. Remote work meant you didn't need to live near the office anymore. So why not trade a cramped apartment in Manhattan or San Francisco for a house with a pool in Tampa or Fort Myers? According to U.S. Census Bureau data, net domestic migration into Florida, that's the number of people moving in from other states, minus the number moving out, exploded to 253,000 people in 2021. That was already a massive jump. Then in 2022, it climbed even higher to 310,892 people. Florida ranked number 1 in the entire country for domestic migration 2 years running. Real estate agents couldn't list homes fast enough. Bidding wars were the norm. And the story every national outlet told was the same. Florida is the future. But here's what almost nobody was reporting at the time. That number was about to fall off a cliff. The U.S. Census Bureau's latest population estimates, released this year, tell a very different story. Net domestic migration to Florida dropped from that 2022 peak of 310,000 to 183,000 in 2023. Then it fell again to 58,000 in 2024, and in 2025, it landed at just 22,517 people. That's a 93% decline in 3 years. To put that in perspective, Florida, a state that ranked first in the nation for domestic migration in 2021 and 2022, dropped all the way to 8th place in 2025. And the state that beat it? Alabama, which pulled in 23,358 new residents, edging out Florida by less than 1,000 people. Let that sink in. Alabama is now out-recruiting Florida. It's not just a statewide story either. Researchers at the University of Florida's Shimberg Center for Housing Studies found that Miami-Dade County, once one of the hottest migration magnets in the country, lost nearly 73,000 residents to domestic outmigration in 2025 alone. Hillsborough and Pinellas counties, both major beneficiaries of the pandemic boom, also posted net domestic losses. Florida is still growing technically. The state added just over 200,000 people through migration in 2025. But compare that to nearly 599,000 added in 2022, and the slowdown is impossible to ignore. So what changed? 3 forces are converging here. First, the return to office mandate. The remote work flexibility that let people relocate freely during the pandemic has been rolling back. Employers across finance, tech, and corporate America have been calling workers back to their desks, often in the same expensive coastal cities they left behind. If your job now requires you in a Manhattan or San Francisco office 3 days a week, Tampa isn't an option anymore, no matter how nice the weather is. Second, the insurance crisis. This is the one hitting current Florida homeowners hardest. According to Insurify's 2026 national report, Florida's average annual home insurance premium hit $8,292 in 2025, the highest of any state in the country, and roughly 4 times the national average. In coastal counties like Lee, Collier, and Miami-Dade, some single-family homeowners are quoted between $9,000 and $18,000 a year. For older condo buildings specifically, new state-mandated reserve requirements put in place after the Surfside collapse are triggering special assessments that can run into 6 figures per unit. That math is pushing both buyers and existing owners to think twice. Third, simple normalization. A huge share of the people who wanted to move to Florida already did between 2020 and 2022. The pool of easy movers dried up. What's left is a more expensive, more insurance-burdened market that requires a much stronger financial case to relocate into. Now here's where the story gets more interesting than a simple "Florida is dying" narrative, because it isn't. While Miami-Dade, Hillsborough, and Pinellas were losing residents, Mid-sized inland counties told the opposite story. Polk County has ranked among the top 5 counties in the entire United States for domestic in-migration every year since 2021, adding between 22,000 and 34,000 new residents annually. Pasco County posted Florida's second highest migration gains in 2025. Marion County has steadily attracted new residents for 3 straight years. The pattern is clear once you see it. People aren't rejecting Florida. They're rejecting expensive, insurance-crushed, hurricane-exposed coastal metros and moving toward more affordable inland communities with new construction and lower carrying costs. International migration, meanwhile, stayed strong. Census data shows Florida had the highest net international migration of any state in 2025, with over 178,000 more people arriving from abroad than leaving. So Florida isn't being abandoned. Its internal geography is being rewritten. So if you're watching Florida real estate from the outside, here's the real headline. This isn't a state collapsing. It's a state recalibrating. The coastal, high-insurance, high-price counties that boomed hardest during the pandemic are cooling the fastest. The inland, affordable counties are quietly becoming the new growth engines. If you're buying, that recalibration is exactly where the opportunity and the risk both live right now. That's the data. That's the real story behind the headlines. Welcome back to American Property Markets.